Hey everybody, welcome to FBC Missions So That podcast. Today in the studio we have John Nipp. He oversees the FBC kitchen. Lots of great things happening there. We're so glad he's with us. Hope you enjoy. Hi, and welcome to Season 4 of FBC Missions So That podcast. This is an encouraging place to hear how God is working in and around us. We know that He blesses His people so that they can bless the world around them. And we're going to be discussing how to join God in all that He is doing. Why is God working in our life, church, and community? It's so that through us, the world will know that He is near. Hey, everybody, and welcome to FBC Missions So That podcast. Great to have you with us. Great. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've got Amanda, my co-host here. How are you doing, Amanda?
Hello. Fantastic.
Great to have you here this morning. And we have John Nipp, the superstar manager of the kitchen here at FBC. And you might think, come on, it's just a kitchen. How big a deal can it be?
Oh, I don't think just a kitchen.
Oh, of course.
Just,
just Chad. Chad.
It's a major thing being in the kitchen.
At this church, it is a major thing. We opened up the kitchen this year in the fall with almost 400 people the first night, and it just got crazier from there. John, I don't know how you do it.
It's the talk of the town
sometimes.
It is.
People say it's the best meal you can get in Boerne for $7. It is unbelievable.
It's probably the only meal in Boerne you can buy for $7.
It's even going to fast food, I feel like I'm exceeding $10 per meal these days. So absolutely, it's fantastic. John, welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
We're so glad that you're
here.
Me. Hey, today's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
I'm turning older.
Where's the clapping button?
There should be
where's the applause button?
No, there's buttons here. I wonder what they do. Like, we got any noises? Oh, I have it turned all the way down. Let's see if there's any. No, that's definitely not the right one.
That might be your birthday sound.
There, this is more like it right there. Some crickets. Okay. Hey, I want to share with you guys a Bible verse that a friend of mine shared yesterday, and it wasn't for me, but I think it was perfect for a birthday. Here's what it says. It says, the righteous, or in Psalm 92, the righteous will flourish like a palm tree. They will grow like a cedar of Lebanon, planted in the house of the Lord. They will flourish in the courts of our God. Listen to this one. And they will still bear fruit in their old age. They will stay fresh and green. So that's what I'm praying on the downhill slope from 45 that the Lord will help me to continue to bear fruit for His kingdom.
You have a lot of fruit to bear.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. It's a lot of fun. And it's a little odd to bring up. So now everyone knows May 2nd is when we recorded this thing. And
that's right.
And yeah.
Remember for next year.
So let's go back to the kitchen. You know, kitchens are like the center of every house.
Yes, they are.
It is where the world starts and ends in a home. And
it's where people get fed, where there's conversations, where there's movement. You know, it is the center of the home. I like that.
You ever go to you go to Thanksgiving and you spend the whole day in the kitchen and then you go eat in the dining room. And you're like, why are we in here? We've been spending the whole day hanging out together over there. And the dining room is where you eat.
And the dining takes like 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 minutes and it's over. Now you're back to the kitchen, the cleanup.
I'm always amazed when I go to my sister's house. She has a rather large house up in Fort Worth, and everybody gathers in the kitchen, and we'll watch this little bitty TV in her kitchen, but everybody's in the kitchen. But
are you watching the parade?
Yeah. Everybody else, I mean, there's plenty of other TVs, giant big screen TVs everywhere, but everybody's in the kitchen watching that little bitty TV.
And the football games are tiny, but that's where the people are. It's where everything happens. So, John, tell us. We've had you on the podcast a few times, but we've been talking specifically about your partnership and work in Uganda and other parts of the world. And you're an incredible guy. We love that. But this other part of what you do probably takes up a lot more of your time. It's a weekly thing. How did you get into the kitchen to begin with? How do you, John Nipp, end up being our kitchen manager?
Take us to the beginning.
Back to the beginning.
Well, I guess it started about 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
It was before COVID. Things had gotten kind of stagnant in the kitchen, and the Wednesday night activities were very stagnant. It was just a situation where you had to call and make reservations, and there's about 40 people there maybe. They had one choice, and it just wasn't a real effective tool for the church.
Yeah. Well, it is anything but that today. So, my goodness.
Bert McCoy called me because he knew I had a restaurant background.
What restaurant?
I worked for Luby's Cafeterias.
Luby's. Okay, see, now here we go. Now some dawning begins to come to place. Luby's. All right.
Many years in the kitchen. At any rate, so he asked me, what I suggested, and I made a few suggestions, and it just didn't catch. And finally, he called me back to his office, and he said, "John, I want you to do this for me. The only rule is I'm tired of my phone ringing with complaints. He says, make my phone stop ringing. And that's your only goal, and your only thing I'm asking for. So from that moment on, we took it over.
When you say we, who are you talking about?
Well, we have several volunteers. In the beginning, it was very small. It was pretty much just my wife and I.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Marie is amazing, by the way. If you don't know Marie Nipp, she's the one that keeps John stable and solid
yes,
and organized. And she's amazing.
Sane, probably.
Sane.
And she keeps things on keel. But we start off with a very, very small cadre of volunteers, maybe 5 props. Now I have 31.
Yeah, it's an amazing team. And
oh my word!
Well, again, the scope of what we're serving. So let's get out of the how for this event, and let's talk about why. Why is this a big deal to you? Like, what is it about the kitchen and about providing food that makes you want to do this? The amount of work that goes into this every single week is overwhelming. So why do you do it, John?
I guess I do it as an act of worship. I really feel strongly that people bond over food. They bond at the kitchen table. You see a much more connected church now than when we started. And I'm not saying it's just because of the kitchen.
Hey, John, it's your fault. It's okay, brother. Like, don't worry about it.
The sweet tea and brownies.
The sweet tea and brownies are the reason
yummy chicken.
This is working. Jason's doing a great job, but this kitchen man is really, really doing it.
He's nothing without the kitchen. No.
I hope you're listening, Jason. You'll love it.
There's a lot of reasons that the church is a much more connected and functioning church now, but a lot of it is because we bond over food, and I wanted to give church members particularly, one more excuse to come be on campus, for one more day a week.
Yeah.
I don't like the whole, I go to church on Sunday and then I check out for 6.5 days. I don't think that's healthy for humans. I don't think it's healthy for me. I don't think it's healthy for a church.
It's really interesting. It used to be the Wednesday night meal was a major part of a lot of different churches.
Yeah, historically it was.
Plan, get people to come and eat before church, both the fellowship that you get to have, the encouragement, the relationship, all the kind of things are good. But I've been a part of multiple churches that had them and they ended. Like this, the volunteer base kind of aged out, and as it did, it couldn't find volunteers to kind of step into these new roles. The food got not stale literally, but just the same thing over and over, and just got boring. I was at one church that kind of got rid of the kitchen staff and just started bringing in Chick-fil-A every Wednesday night, and people were happy that for a season. But again, you're not going to have the exact same thing forever, and it just kind of ended. So like when I came to FBC and they're like, they have a Wednesday night meal, my expectations were very low.
Yeah.
And then you walked in that first night and you're like, oh my goodness, this is something different.
You were wowed.
This is like an amazing full service, what's the word, buffet type meal.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
It's a 5, sometimes 6 course meal.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And lots of options.
I walk away stuffed every Wednesday, and I think I need to eat less. And then they're like, "Hey, you should try this. Hey, you should try this. You should try this." It's fantastic. But let's get back to that why. Like you're talking about how people's hearts are encouraged around food, how they connect over food. This is true in our homes, right?
Yes,
Amanda, you have kids, you have family. How important is your kitchen?
Well, I think I'm talking to the choir here, but when you're apart for, like what you're talking about, the church is apart for a while, and then you get to come down at the end of every day. We just try to come around the table and talk about what is going on, and you connect. You get that FaceTime. You're doing over food, the same meal. And so, I mean, that's what you're wanting for Wednesday nights, is there's this opportunity to have, you've gone your own ways, now come back together and reunite.
Exactly. And it's fun to watch. Sometimes I get a chance just to go out to the dining room and just watch what's going on. And it's always so much fun to see multi-generations interacting. and having fun doing it. Love seeing some of our older widows actually chasing the kids around the dining room playing Indians.
Yes, there's a lot of running around.
Oh, there is.
That little
there
room.
is. There's a jump rope going last night, despite the parents' many attempts to stop it. It was a lot of fun.
But, don't stop it. Let the kids have some fun. I want them to have fun. I don't want them to associate church with some kind of
harsh rules. Yeah, of course.
No, I love that.
Give them a safe place in the church to where they can just be themselves.
Yeah,
and play.
And it happens. My daughter is a great example of it. Both of them love it. They bring their friends. Allie talks to everybody she possibly can on that Wednesday night meal, and it really is a phenomenal environment that you've facilitated and fostered. But you said 31 volunteers. So
oh gosh, I got a great crew in the world.
Talk about how do you get these guys there? It's a lot of work. How much time do you think goes into each Wednesday night meal?
It's probably 30 hours a week.
30 hours for you?
Mm-hmm.
And then how many volunteers do you have as a part of that?
Total man hours is probably close to 250 hours.
250 man hours.
A week?
To put that together. Like you're here.
Is most of that on Wednesday? Wednesday day? Do you get there and clean up, or what are you doing?
No. It starts
Wednesday after dinner when
Thursday
he sits
morning.
down and starts making his list of what we're going to eat next week.
Yeah, the menu's written Wednesday night before I leave home. Thursdays we order groceries. Fridays I try to take Fridays and Saturdays off. Sundays you come in, you have to kind of tweak the menu a little bit, pull whatever out you need out of the freezer, kind of do a little bit of organization. Monday groceries come in. Tuesday we do prep, serve all day Wednesday. And when I say all day, we get there about 7 o'clock in the morning. Usually there's nobody here but me. And we'll start the fire outside if we're going to be smoking anything. We sit around and get ourselves organized and get our production list done. And everybody knows what they're doing, what their job is, and we go to work.
Are you training these people? And what do you do for camaraderie there when you're like, okay, we're going to do this week? And
they cook breakfast tacos. Breakfast tacos on
occasion. We rarely have breakfast.
I'm just kidding. One time I walked in, you guys had some tacos on there. I was like, look at that. They're cooking breakfast. That sounds awesome.
I love that.
No, the women's ministry, the women's Bible study, the Wednesday morning Bible study always brings us their leftovers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. That's what we eat.
The whole thing makes me laugh. But the good thing is that Chef John here is it's full time for you, right? Like you're here those 30 hours a week. It's what you do for your living.
Yeah, they'll have my own business. And I go to Uganda.
It's his side. This is his side gig.
There's just
he has a real job too.
Yeah, it's getting to be too many hours. There's not enough hours in a week anymore.
Yeah,
that's why I always look tired now.
What is your real job, John?
I'm an insurance agent.
Insurance agent. Yeah. Okay. So you're on when you're not in the kitchen, you're helping people prepare for craziness that may happen, things that might happen.
Great.
Well, that's amazing. I don't know that everybody knows that you have a full-time job outside of all of the work you do here for us. And
I tell you what, God has blessed me with wonderful volunteers here in the kitchen. I mean, I have a fantastic staff. They work hard. We play hard. We joke around. We have a great time. But everybody kind of knows their role, and it makes things really easy and really efficient in the kitchen. In my office, I am blessed with my assistant's been with me for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And so it makes that easy for me to kind of disappear for periods of time.
30 hours a week.
Yeah. No, most of that's done after our work. It's not unusual for me to be here at 9 o'clock at night.
No, I know. Well, John, I've listened a number of times when I walk in a little early, and you've got your whole crew kind of in a big circle before everything starts on Wednesday afternoon. What are you saying to them? What are you hoping that people hear, especially your volunteers, before the hundreds of people show up to eat?
Well, I guess it's twofold or threefold. First, obviously we want to bless the food. We want to pray. Secondly, I want to give them some kind of understanding about, what we have an abundance of, what we is kind of short. We didn't, quite hit our mark on, and just some kind of how the night's going to unfold. So I try to give them some of that direction, but most of it is just a reminder that it's something I tell them every week. Food is our shtick. People is our business. We're not there to serve food. I don't really care about the food.
Yeah.
We're there to engage folks that might need a hug, might need a kind word, might need some encouragement. And to that, we started this past year, we started having a deacon what we call head deacon in charge. And so we're blessed with about 5 or 6 deacons on our volunteer team. And every week they read scripture into us, and they give a little short devotional, and then we pray over the food. But that deacon is also there in case somebody needs church services. If you're in the dining room, you notice somebody that needs church services, needs something from the church, there's a point of contact there. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just a short prayer, word of encouragement, a Bible verse, something. But we have a deacon who's in charge of that and facilitates that every week, and it rotates through our deacon team. So anytime you see the guy in the green apron, that's a deacon. That's the deacon of the day. And so it starts with prayer, but we're there to engage with the church membership and also the church guests. We have quite a few numbers of baptisms last year that their first encounter with First Baptist Church, their first time on our church campus was at Wednesday night dinner.
Oh,
and then months later they show up baptized.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Ask Jason. I'm not comfortable giving that information out, but ask Jason or Daniel, and they'll give you the figure. It's mind-blowing.
That is incredible.
It's an easy place to bring people. It's non-threatening. Come have dinner with me. My church has a big dinner. It's awesome. We've definitely helped people who didn't have a lot of resources could just come get a free meal on occasion.
Absolutely.
We've definitely done that often. We've helped some low-income families come, and we know you can get one good meal. Come to this one. This is a great place every week, and even some of the side-by-side families, special needs families, it's a great place for them to come.
Absolutely.
So it just keeps growing in its scope. One of my favorite things every week, and Jason really has to go out of his way to do this, is every week he goes and stands at the serving line and just greets people with a handshake. Just, how are you doing? Great to see you. And he does it. He'll stand there for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour.
The whole time.
As long as there's a line, he's standing there. He might be a few minutes late every now and then, but he it's something he does. It's one of his disciplines. And he doesn't eat. I sit down and eat with my family, and I enjoy it. But he stands there until it's over, and until he has to leave to go to recharge. Mm-hmm. And then you guys, he comes back and eats after everything's over later in the evening. Yeah. But it's a really cool thing. You get FaceTime with each other, with your friends, family, obviously your pastors, your leaders, your deacons. You have this incredible kitchen crew that's helping. And last night one of them reached over the serving line to shake my hand, and I tipped my whole thing over. It all flew onto the ground. Yeah, I went to shake the tray of the food. The barbecue's all on the ground, and I'm in the middle like, oh man.
I thought we had a child that knocked it out of
there. Oh yeah, it was a big child, a 45-year-old child.
That was a mess.
And then they come around and clean it all up for me. Of course, I got nothing. I can't do anything, and then give me more food after that. It was so. That team is incredible, and I just want to say, John, well done.
Well, thank you very much as far as that goes. But the thank you really kind of. I want to really kind of press a little bit into the crew, the kitchen crew, what we call the culinary team.
Oh, I love it.
As oftentimes in ministry, and I'm sure y'all will agree, those you are ministering to often give you back more than you put in. Mm. And it's the same thing with the culinary team. I'm so thankful and so blessed to have each and every one of them in my life. Not because they're working for the church, they're working for the same cause, the same ministry, not because they share a vision with me, but more their constant influence in what they pour into me personally. I could not ask for better brothers and sisters that are in that core group of people. They're not anonymous faces. They're close, dear, loved friends of mine and brothers and sisters. Do we all get along every time? No.
We've got 31 people. There's everyone's broken. There's always going to be some fun.
But I can't tell each and every one of them enough how much I love them.
Yeah.
And just absolutely am so thankful for their presence in my life.
FBC
That's huge.
has redefined a few of those things and that I thought were probably going extinct in the church, right? Like choirs. Choirs are just all across the country. Choirs just shutting down. There's just not enough interest in classical musical training or music books and then you come here, and Mark's done such a great job. The choir is phenomenal. It's multi-generational. It's an ensemble that just brings so much life and vitality to our worship services. And this dinner is just the same kind of thing. It's something I thought was kind of going away. And you come here, and you've got a great team. It's fully formed. You've got great energy. They're so selfless. You've got the kids area over here that's got endless mac and cheese and chicken strips. And every kid and half of our adults, I'm pretty sure, eat at that particular station.
I've heard a lot about the mac and cheese.
The corn dogs,
That's
like you
really
guys
good.
are just nailing it over there.
Yeah.
I tried to take the macaroni and cheese off a few weeks ago.
John.
Yeah. You were really starting to stir things up right then.
I know. Well, I thought,
are you doing?
I thought, parents probably would prefer maybe a green bean or something.
Yes.
Oh, I like
So,
how you're
John,
thinking through the
that's
parents'
true.
eyes.
I'm
But they
wrestling with this
don't.
because I'm trying to figure out what vegetable will a kid eat, and I came up with nothing.
Right. That is the ultimate question.
Spinach.
No,
I'm just kidding. Like
spinach.
Popeye. Remember the?
Yeah. So I was wandering through the dining room as I do sometimes, and I thought I was going to get shivved. Those kids were mad.
They all complain.
Revolting.
We can't. There's no mac and cheese. John, what? The dessert table is another amazing highlight.
Yep.
After you finish stuffing your face with one of
Yes.
the 4 entree options that you give us, John, then people were like, "Oh, the food is so good. Let me go look at that table." And then you realize.
All of them.
You want all of them, and the ones that you wanted to disappear. So everyone grabs their dessert when they come in.
Yeah, you do.
And
You have
You
to
gotta
look
watch
around
that. You
first.
gotta look at that. Yeah, you gotta get the pattern down.
people dessert first.
If you're a serious dessert person,
You
You're
need to go
picking it
get
out
pick that
early.
up first.
They have been so good too. They work so hard in that particular part, and it's just unbelievable. You've done such a great job, and it
Yeah.
really is doing exactly what you want.
Yeah, it's functioning really well. I mean, I'm tired, and I'm glad summer's coming along because I need a little bit of a break. But I know come August 1st, when I usually start working again, I'll be ready to see everybody.
You have that passion back.
Yeah,
You're like ready for it.
Oh yeah, I'll be ready.
And the church is ready for it too.
Yeah,
We're like,
I
oh my
think so,
goodness,
too.
Wednesday night dinner. And really, it's a really cool opportunity where people are going to want to come and have a meal, but then they also get sent out with full bellies, full connection hearts to go into their Bible studies or go
I don't know. They
into-
might fall asleep in those Bible studies with the amount of food they've got on their stomach.
No, John's got good food. It's giving them energy.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm
Given
kidding.
that
Actually, have you listened to that whole Family Matters series?
Of
Yeah,
course,
it's
of course.
so good.
Holy, that is so on spot.
Yeah,
I am
it's-
so proud that our church is actually addressing, where the rubber meets the road. Well, this is where your Christian life really has impact in your daily, the way you live your life. And I'm usually out there writing menus or grocery lists or whatever, and so I'm not paying attention a whole bit. But you're always kind of hearing what's going on in the background. It has been really impactful.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's fun that they use that time at the eating dinner together as a launch pad, as a family. Like it's really
for
fun
sure.
to get together as a family and sit at the table. Sometimes the kids are running around, but like you get to hang
Usually
out.
the kids are hanging around, running around.
Other families come sit at your table.
Yep.
It's really fun. And so, kind of we're on this like family situation. So I want
Yeah.
to see, how has this kind of affected your family? I mean, your wife is a part of it. And what else? How has this ministry been a part of your family?
It takes up a lot of time. Marie and I are empty nesters. Our youngest is in Kentucky. Our oldest is in Denver. Our middle boy's in Austin. So we don't have a whole lot of, constant time with our children or our grandchildren. And they're all at the point of their lives that, if we want to have time with our grandchildren, we have to go to Denver or we have to go to Kentucky.
Yeah, they're getting a little busy.
It's very hard for particularly my son. He's in the Army, and his job will not let him just disappear.
Sure.
He's got to be on call. So it's very difficult for him to get even to Nashville. He's kind of pushing the
Yeah, even leave time is hard for him to get.
yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
So we have to go there if we want to see the kids or our grandchildren. But the Wednesday night dinner is just a matter of you have to schedule your breaks. You have to be organized. And, there's some short nights, because sometimes you get on that, 5 o'clock flight out of San Antonio to get to Denver or to get to Nashville to get to Kentucky the next morning. So, sometimes you're still smelling a little bit like food when you get on the plane.
With the amount of food you guys are cooking, I have a feeling that's a normal issue for you guys.
Yeah.
But listen, again, it is an incredible ministry. Like we've been talking about family on mission. This provides a venue for our families to be able to engage with each other, to get to know each other, to love each other, to bring that mission with us. And it wasn't a cool thing.
And invite guests, like
Yeah,
we're
that's
saying,
what I'm saying,
other
invite guests.
families to
Please
come.
bring the guests. There's never a time when we will just absolutely have nothing to feed you.
No. Last week we talked about fishers of men and this whole idea of casting the net. This is one of those places where we have those nets cast, and there's lots and lots of people coming and going.
Who would have thought bait is a pork chop?
A bait is a
I
pork
do.
chop.
Yeah, that
hey,
sounds great.
like it's actually one of the easiest
We're
things.
fishing from people.
Like there's a very simple tools on church engagement. You're like, if you can feed people, you get them to come, you can engage them with you fill their tummies and you open their hearts. Like
but
those kind of things
make it fun.
You have to, and you guys have done that so well.
Yeah,
I said well done, and I just want to say it again. John, you guys have done such a great job. The food is great. The community is great. The environment is great. And it all starts with you guys in the kitchen, just forming an atmosphere that makes people love being a part of it. And that's on you guys, and we're so thankful for you.
Probably need a special thank you to Marie, my wife. She is a workaholic. She is just absolutely.
Do we need to get her some resources for recovery?
She does a lot on the human side, not just food production. I mean, she's very good with food. She's a very good cook, very talented when it comes to food and recipes and creativity. Extremely talented, but she also connects with people, our volunteer staff, and in the dining room. She's a spark plug, and it's very difficult to do that job when she's not there. When her father passed, there was a period of time when she was just not available, and it took a toll on everybody. Everybody on that team was missing her.
I'm sure.
But then the team itself is they're phenomenal people, and it's a very eclectic group. We have engineers, we have farmers, we have truck drivers, we have electricians, we have teachers, it's doctors, It's a very eclectic group of people that have come together just to make this fun for our church and to provide that safe place for our church to have some fun.
I love it. Well, we're kind of coming down to the end here. I just want to say to you who are listening today, like when you have opportunities to engage lost people, your kitchen is a great place to start. It is a way for us to engage our whole church to come and have a free meal, not a free meal, have a meal at the church. But your kitchen, opening your door, inviting your neighbors to have a meal with you, getting your friends, especially the ones that you're praying for, into your house. Again, it makes such a difference. If the kitchen is the heart of the home, then mealtime is a great place to start building relationships with your friends.
And you don't, like John says, you don't even have to be like that great of a cook.
Yeah.
Just get something in, and I mean, John's a great cook, but
John
what I'm
is a
saying
great cook.
is it's more about the people than it is about the food. It's who you're bringing around the table and the truth you're telling.
Food's the stick.
Food is your stick.
That's right.
People are your business.
That's right.
Just using the food just to get people there.
Well, man, you guys have mastered it. And we're so thankful for you. The mission that you guys get to enjoy and proclaim and really make available to the rest of us is incredible. So thank you so much. Hey, let me just ask, I always want to ask, how can the people who are listening, how can they pray for you? How can they join with what you're doing? You still need volunteers?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, next year we're going to be short a couple because Jim and Brenda Phelps are moving to Indiana.
We've got some team members moving away.
And I'm very sad about that because I guess I was joking with Jason last night. I said, outside of my wife, I probably spend more time with Jim Phelps than anybody else in the world.
Man,
friend.
they serve so well too. They have been providing desserts for our entire church for decades. Like last year we had an event where like, hey, would you guys, he loves making cookies. He brought, 40 dozen cookies to an event. And there was 5 different types, and man, it's just a labor of love for them. We're going to miss those Phelps people. They're amazing.
Oh gosh, they are amazing. So we're going to need some more volunteers, and then we're all getting a little bit older, So we have time. We have to leave and go take care of things outside of outside of Boerne. We have people get sick,
Yeah, sure.
So there's always a need for more.
Yeah. So if you're one of those families that's like mine and like Amanda's, that we enjoy this meal fairly often, and you have an ability to be a part or openness in your schedule to come a little early and serve, or stay a little late and help clean up, or just join this thing. Maybe you just retired and you're trying to figure out what's a good way to serve. This is a really good space. They'll take care of you, and you'll be taking care of a lot of people in their meals. So a couple things, just list here. Pray that God would continue to sustain our kitchen team with that same passion, energy, and vitality. They're doing such a great job. Pray that God would provide the volunteers that we need to make this possible. It keeps it cheap, keeps it possible, keeps it running smoothly. And then we'll just pray, John, that God would continue to sustain you and Marie and the many people that you're caring for through this opportunity.
Those are all great prayer needs, and we all need them. We also, we have people in our team and in our church that are struggling right now, and for personal reasons, and they need some prayer.
We have one more week next week in this spring semester 2024. So if you don't know, you haven't enjoyed this incredible opportunity to have a good meal in Boerne, obviously if you go to FBC, you're welcome. But if you don't, you're also welcome. Come enjoy a meal. Yeah. It's cheap and it is excellent. And there's a lot of good people that would love to meet you and get to know you. And yeah, guys, we'll be looking to build this team through the summer and get ready to launch for the fall as well.
Already working on it.
So thank you so much, John. Thanks for being on the podcast. Thanks for talking about missions in the kitchen. It's fantastic.
Come have some dinner and meet John. Say hello to John and friends, and the culinary team.
The culinary team.
I'll be the grumpy one in the corner. So meet the other folks for me.
The grumpy one in the corner. I've never seen John grumpy, but I bet it happens. I bet it could happen. Well, those of you who are listening today, thank you so much for joining us. We're so glad that you tuned in. If you have any comments or questions that you'd like to share with us, please do let us know. You can contact FBC, send us an email or a phone call. But ultimately, we're just so thankful that you're with us. Why do we do all this? Why do we do big meals? Why do we do these big church gatherings? Why do we do the little ones in our homes? It's because we want to honor God. He blesses us so that we can bless those around us.
Absolutely.
Have a wonderful day, and God bless.
Happy birthday.
We are so thankful that you joined our podcast today. We would love to hear any feedback you may have for us. Remember, Psalm 67 says, "May God be gracious to us and bless us, and make his face shine on us, so that your ways may be known on earth and your salvation among all nations." Don't forget why the Lord blesses us. It's so that we can be a blessing to those around us. Until next time, God bless.